movie. You will be my favorite actress. Put her on a mattress, turn into gymnastics. Ass so fat you could see it from an atlas. Came 3 times like I hit it with a cactus. Ride so wet, gave that pussy season passes. Said she got some tricks, she tryna put me in the practice. Cat got her tongue now, she talking with an accent. Beat this pussy up, now you gon' find me in a casket. Sleeping like a rock and now she wanna call me Patrick. Star just like an asterisk, face is fine attractive. Hit it from the back, I break her off just like a hatchet. Hips is no debating, she rotating on an axis. Got us a U-Haul, now I claim her on my taxes. She wearing all my clothes, now we matching. Body like a god and shawty built just like the classics, yeah. And best believe she coming back, bitch. How y'all doing tonight? I'm screaming. Is it gonna fall? I think it's good. Thank you. Shout out to the tech crew. It'll be alright. So yeah, what's good, y'all? My name is Korie. I'm gonna feature for tonight. I'm gonna take y'all through a journey. So I started dating women last January to be exact. I'm like a baby gay still. I know everybody thinks that I've been out. Everybody thinks that I've known since I was born, and I was like, it took me a minute. After my first breakup situation thing, you know what I'm saying, with a girl, I was depressed, and then I started performing here. And Aloho and Queerexpression has been a very important place for me to be able to get myself together, start accepting myself and shit. I'm gonna start this off with this piece called Straight Culture. This is actually the first queer piece I ever wrote while I was still in the closet. And so it's called Straight Culture. There is a self-harm trigger warning, so if you need to take care of yourself, go ahead and do that. As an ally, I feel like a bad guy when I'm not standing up for my people, like for my family. Ain't grow up who they parents thought they planned to be, ought to be. They got the anatomy, but not mixed with anomaly. Get y'all fixed like limbotomy, thinking people who barely talk to me, looking over me like a canopy. They the same ones preaching over Christianity, and it's odd to me that it's only when it's convenient for you, man. That's insanity. Doesn't add up like economy. Doesn't matter though. It was taught to me, and it was taught to you. Like, as if the Bible says you should be my rival, you wasn't meant for survival. So if you're cutting in suicide, I'm not held liable, cause you're defiable. I'm just being reliable. Man, that shit is cryable. And as far as I know, only my God can judge, so where your title go? Growing up, I wasn't blessed with femininity. I saw toy guns and action figures as the epitome of childhood. Barbies and dollhouse shit that didn't even sell mild good. And all my male cousins couldn't shoot a basketball like I could. I would cross up niggas when I should have been crossing legs with dress on. Had hops like Bronze and Bryant's baby. Wearing Jordans. Korie, why you got that mess on? Korie, come and put this mess on. Paint face like with makeup. Well, I guess now I look less strong and more valuable space I take up. Thinking, which team does she play with? The D or is she on defense? I could have been the best on the team, but I left that in the pretense. Then I started playing offense. Suddenly started to drop hints. Family saw them with faces that spoke like dolphin. Family still talking. Wondering when female was gonna walk in equals me in a coffin. Not physically, not saying they tried to get rid of me, but all my academic ability and hard work and credibility will be irrelevant. To be honest, they probably prefer that I was pregnant. That's evident of a sign of a time that with men I've been sexually affectionate. An elephant laughing, it's greater than Gatsby. It's a testament of the test I'm in, since I'm just not straight enough. Thank you, yeah. I don't perform that piece as much as I should. I completely forgot I wrote it until like a feature earlier in the year. So there's this thing that I do with my features where I say my favorite line in the poems. You can connect with me a little more, it can be a little more intimate. So my favorite line from that piece is, then I started playing offense, subtly started to drop hints, but then saw them, faces spoke like dolphin. Family still talking, wondering if female was gonna walk in equals me in a coffin. And that's pretty much what to relate to. The microaggressions, I guess you could say, that I would go through with family, like people just like waiting for me to come out, but not in like a good supportive way, not like that. Oh, okay, this is something she's gonna realize later. It's like, oh, Korie is the gay cousin, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's what that piece relates to. Yeah, we're gonna keep it moving. The next piece I'm gonna do is a little more fun. It's called Tierra Wilson. She makes the SAT look easy. Now it's hard for me to sit down, and I would need more letters in my alphabet just so I can get how. I need an extra P, H, and D just to learn more words to describe her. She could bring the bachelor out of me because her fine art makes my degrees increase. Now there's more temperature in my atmosphere. I think I'm even more smarter now that you got my atoms clear. I got a new ton, and I would require a new branch of knowledge because my current lexicon would just not do her justice. The way I'm reading into you got me thinking God must have favorite genres, a derivative of vibranium, but nothing short of its sovereignty. She's just built different. I call her the grandest larceny because she could leave a poet speechless like, baby, you take the art in me. On my knees, my greatest weakness. I'm picking up my pieces like a song without its harmony. And I would write about you all day, even if it only meant I could be your number 2 pencil. And now I'm taking notes like I study at Cornell. And I'm paying more attention than I paid intuition. My intuition says, I bet she kisses like a golden Sharpie. Times New Roman, it's exponential. She makes me do this thing with my tongues, and now I speak with italics. I'm leaning on my axis, and now my sun, moon, and rising have to find a new atlas. Come on. In my fantasy, she calls me daddy, but she says it in cursive. Because I tend to stay intertwined in her lines, even when there's supposed to be a space in between us. I'm an exuberant thinker. She makes me speak encyclopedias. I thank her and I would thank her, and it would never get tedious. To be with you or not to be who I am, that is the question that's marked by my existence. Got me reciting Shakespeare like that shit that don't make no sense sometimes. Like, I'm an Aristotelian that's found the 69th law of thermodynamics. I count my seconds in sevens because time spent with you is perfection. I can feel her from a distance. My 4 eyes connect the dots when your eyes notice the freckles on my forehead. And if you look hard enough, it would cross on my T's because I can only take lowercase L's without you. I would never speak loud enough. You are my main focus and my peripheral because trying to see my life without you in it was like trying to get the white out from around my pupils. Your pressure is permanent and your ink permeates my blank spaces, even when I didn't think I had much left to say. And I could babble on all the way back in time to Babylon, because with you I don't even know what I'm talking about. But you make me feel like I have all the right words, and I would love to tell you all these great things about you if I only had the courage to say anything at all. Thank you. Cool. Yeah, that was called Tierra Wilson. My favorite line in that is, in my fantasy, she calls me daddy, but she says it in cursive. Because I tend to stay intertwined in her lines even when there's supposed to be a space in between us. So, you know, when you write in cursive and then you don't bring the pen off, and then it keeps going. It's like, yeah. So, yeah. It's not even like deep for real. It just is kind of fire. So that's my favorite line in that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Keep moving on. She a little fruity. She a little fruity. I love it. It's driving me bananas. Staring at her body, I'm forgetting where her pants is. She looked me up and down like she writing my advances. I'm trying to make some art, so maybe you could be my canvas. I took her to Atlantis. Got her so wet, now she forgetting what a man is. The pussy so wet, she can't put together her stanzas. I'm gripping on her mind, and she thinking about all the places that my hands went. I'm rocking on the world and shawty speaking with different accents. I'm loving her soul, and I handle that with kindness. I stare into her eyes so I can find out where her mind is. If you see what's in front of you, we could put the world behind us and let's kill me every time. Now she calling me a casualty. She say I'm down to earth the way I fuck her to this gravity. She said she had a sweet tooth, so I let her get a cavity. She just got her hair done, now I got that shit looking raggedy. Respectfully. You know that I be thinking about you sexually and my body's trying to make your baby like every time you're next to me. Said I remind her of home. Now she want a house that we could finance. I told her, baby, we can do any and everything. Anytime, anywhere. As long as I'm with your finance. It's really crazy how supportive my friends are because they said have to join with me. That was crazy. That's a fan. It's a fan favorite.
Yes, fan favorite.
I don't think I wrote it on here. I think my favorite line is just simply, she said she had a sweet tooth, so I let her get a cavity. And, that piece is called fructose, and fructose is the sugar that's found in fruit. And I'm a little
fruity.
So. I'm gonna keep it moving. I got 2 more pieces for y'all. 2 more pieces.
Only 2?
Just 2. I might have a third, depending on what the time is looking like. Barbie will let me know. But yeah, this piece is, next piece I'm gonna do is called February 31st. I used to perform this piece like every time I came up here. I wrote this is the poem I wrote after the first queer situationship breakup, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I think you're gonna like it. That's all I'm saying. February 31st. So I do it off memory. You was doing your shit off memory. You did a really good job. So I think we'll see what I can do.
Off the dome.
We met on February 31st. A day I never thought would exist. This relationship was about a month and a half, but it brought out 23 years of hope unspoken, even to myself, and I miss every day of it. I miss her every day. About as much as you can miss somebody you never really got to know. I felt like I was an infant living in infinity. You took me back to that little girl that always felt like something was wrong with her. And she still does. See, baby, ex-baby, you told her she didn't have to love pink to be a girl. You said she didn't have to wear dresses if they don't make her feel comfortable. You said she could play sports with the boys and still be a lady if she wanted to. That there was nothing wrong with her wanting Marvel action figures instead of Barbie dolls for her birthday, baby. Well, ex-baby, the separation is torture, and I'm a masochist because I love thinking about us. I think about all the sex that we never had, and that vacation that we never went on. I think about all the gifts I got you for your birthday next year, and about meeting your friends that don't even know I exist. I think about you starting that business that you always wanted, and getting that new place where you could lay your head in peace. I think about all the smiles I never got to put on your face, and about all the lucky women that get to do that now that I'm gone. See, right now, y'all probably know more about this quote-unquote relationship than she ever cared to pay attention to. I don't even think she's ever heard my poetry, and yet I still even miss the things about her that I wanted no part of. See, ex-baby, right now, I would crave your bitchy attitude. Her words, not mine. She rolled her eyes like dice on a game board and got 7s every time. It was perfect. I took every chance spreading my heart out, knowing you would only fold your cards before the round even began. It was a game I could not succeed in because I was playing against myself the entire time. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. She had a monopoly on me. I treated her with the care and love that I've always wanted to find, never expecting anything in return until I did. Until I realized she didn't even want that from me in the first place. And I beat myself up because it's been 2 months later, longer than the relationship itself, and I still miss you. Cause see, what you don't understand is the feeling of you next to me always meant something more than just skin-touching affections. It was grace, it was validation, it was allowed, reciprocated, and celebrated. And I told myself that I wanted to experience this pure, natural joy was a problem, a character flaw. The battle going on with my beliefs in my heart was a silent death, and you helped me be born again, a resurrection. See, can I be blunt? Understanding my sexuality has been so complex, mostly because it's something I never thought was meant to be understood in the first place. Because according to the God I was worshiping, I was never meant to. And to be honest, I've never felt like I could be loving God and myself at the same time. These were mutually exclusive, oil and water, a potion of poison for a destiny I've always wanted to avoid. So ex-baby, when I say I miss you, I think I mean I miss what you brought out of me, or maybe what you allowed me to bring out of myself. A part of me that I always knew existed, but that I never actually allowed to live. You let her breathe. You gave her oxygen. See, I really never met that little girl before, because every time I heard her, I pretended like she never existed. And when the voices became too loud, I strangled them. When the voices became too loud, I strangled them with the hangers in this closet. Yes, the separation is hard. And waking up is the hardest part, because now I'm just faced with myself. A mirror behind closed eyes. I see everything my family's ever told me. Everything society tells you. It's beginning to sound a lot like my own voice, and I can't distinguish the difference anymore. So now none of those things sound worse than the things that I tell myself. Ex-baby, your existence has been everything. And representation is so important, because sometimes the biggest statements have no words, and being with you was like a white noise with all the right expressions. And I appreciate every moment that I got to spend with you, because now I spend so much more time with myself, not judging, not hating, but living authentically. And I know I'm attractive, my body's nice and active, I got hella skills and talents, my poetry is immaculate.
Yes, it is.
I mean, that's what my therapist says. Miss Annette says I'm well above average, and that I could probably pull and bag all the fruits in the garden. But all these holes in my front lawn would never make the grass greener. They wouldn't quench my thirst, because they cannot replace what I feel like I'm missing without you in my house. Because you told me that the fruit was never forbidden in the first place. So now I put a painting in my living room, a table in my kitchen, the sheets on this bed with the scent in the fabric. They always say you never forget your first girl, and for now you'll never even know this poem exists about you. But I'd love to invite you back in one day so that I can say thank you for helping me build the home I'm living in. Now that I love myself. Thank you. That's like, it's not on this version, Lord. The favorite line on that is like, you allowed me to bring something out of myself or something. Ex-baby, when I say I miss you, I think I mean I miss what you brought out of me. Or maybe what you allowed me to bring out of myself. So it's essentially, when we like broke up, I kind of realized like she was my only queer community. So I was always just like, damn, I can't express myself in this way. But then when I started, it was like the beginning domino or whatever, so I could start living my best queer life and coming to Aloho and all these queer spaces and all this poetry and stuff. Okay, I have one more piece for y'all. It's kind of long, so I'm trying to but yeah, this piece is called The Flavor of Ink. It's currently my favorite piece right now. Any of y'all got tattoos? Yeah? Tattoos? Okay, cool. So I think you're gonna like this piece. She said she wants me to suck the tattoos out of her skin so that I can have a taste of what she's been through. Who knew there were so many different flavors of depression and anxiety? She said for me to understand her code, I'ma have to be a python. I told her, baby, you could count on me like Dracula and we could do this without the lights on. She said, this is gonna be deeper than just seeing her naked. So I peel below the epidermis to find out what kind of lemons has God tasked her with. Somehow when I look down into her face, all I can see are ceilings and realize something has made her world a little backwards. Maybe that means that when she's talking at me sideways, she's just trying her best to meet me halfway. And I get it. I know my ink tells stories. Ink as black as the holes that I get lost in. Constantly climbing out of puddles with the battlefields that I swim in. And I can't find any floaties that can fit on these arms. So I invite you to the gun show. I wear pieces of my heart on my sleeve, and my hooks could wrap you in the bullets that I bite on. I just call that fine dining now. And I invite you to have a seat at the table. You know, sometimes we call it a therapy. You know, sometimes 4 legs are easier to sit on than standing with your own 2. And if you've ever been in that chair, then you know that the biggest pain is not always from the needle. It's why you decided to book the appointment in the first place. Did you know that we experience emotional and physical pain in into our bodies because we're searching for a reminder of what a healing wound is supposed to look like. She told me that getting to know her would be like fucking a museum. An art gallery filled with artifacts, some gifted, so much stolen, all coming from different places, but are now housed in the same place and are now meant to be handled with the same caution. She told me that she wants to suck the tattoos out of my skin because the flavor is all too familiar to her. It's nostalgic, takes her back to those memories she never learned how to forget. And now, she just wants a partner to dance in her rain with. See, umbrellas never really got the job done for her, because the droplets never just came straight down from the sky. Her clouds come like fog at all angles, so it's kind of hard to tell the difference between one step forward and two steps backwards when everything just looks like a blank space in the same direction. And now our taste buds are tap dancing with two left feet like the happiest penguin. See, we were never taught how to tango, but a slippery salsa is so much sweeter than solitude when you've been running away ever since you learned how to walk. She has the appetite for intimacy. I think she'd rather choke on my pain with me than have to swallow her own truth. It's crazy how sometimes it's easier to consume someone else's experience than digest our own. We're both famished to healthy snacking, because that's never been an option on the menu. And we learned that we may have to become our own chefs before we even have kitchens to make meals. Together we make calamari. Because squid tastes better when we realize the ink can't hurt us anymore, which means we won't start hurting each other, which means we won't keep hurting ourselves. I told her that I feel naked without my ink, like a pen that never learned how to write and a poet that never learned how to speak. And together we make poetry in many different forms and shapes and sizes and colors and tunes and textures. We're building architecture in our bodies as we help each other find our pieces, as we learn ourselves that we were never broken to begin with. Because even when the world tried to break us down, we know how to create our own art, Aloho. And I think we do a damn good job expressing it. Thank you. Amen. What's my favorite line in that, Lord? I hope this is written down, y'all, because I don't know where right now. My favorite line in that, I'm about to make up some, I ain't putting on here. I like the part where I say, I'm so sorry, y'all. Okay, here we go. I'm constantly climbing out of puddles when my brain feels like I'm like in like a battlefield. Oh wow, this ain't even written how I say it. That's crazy. Y'all be doing that? Writing shit down?
Yes.
All the time. I don't know what the fuck I'm reading right now. I'm talking something about, I invite you to the gun show. I wear pieces of my heart on my sleeve, so I'm trying to get a sleeve, tattoos. I be getting tattoos when I'm going through trauma, y'all. So, I wear pieces of my heart on my sleeve, and my hugs could wrap you in the bullets that I bite on. So there's a gun show, my hugs are like the bullets that I bite on, that's where you're not, talking about shit. I just call that fine dining now, because I'm so used to that, and I've gotten used to living that. I invite you to have a seat at the table. I do poetry and share it. Y'all having a great crowd. Yeah, that's the end of my set. If you'd like to follow me, it's at Korie is late, so that's at KORIEISLAT. Thank you for all my friends that are like mad supportive that I met.